Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk about the Spider-Man movies, because I decided it's finally time to rank all of them. And we're also going to include the Venom movies in this ranking, just because I wanted to talk about them. I debated not doing it because I don't care what anyone says, they're not Spider-Man movies, they're Venom movies. So I debated on whether or not I should include them, but I decided to, just because I wanted to talk about them. Because I also thought about not including them because I'd make this ranking a whole lot harder. Because even though I can agree with some people that some of these movies on this list aren't really that good, I still enjoy all of them, and I have no problems with rewatching any of them. So I don't actually hate any movie on this list, I just enjoy some more than others. So, yeah. Well, I guess we should get started. Place we have Venom. Now, it honestly really hurts to have Venom this low, because I don't hate this movie at all. I actually really enjoy it. Yes, it has its flaws. The story could be more put together with less plot holes. The tone could be better. One moment it's a horror film, the next moment it's this incredibly cheesy, cartoonish superhero movie, and the next moment it's this dark tale about an anti-hero. Like, the tone's all over the place in this movie. But I still really enjoy it. Part of it could just be because I'm seeing a new version of Venom in a movie, and I really like Venom. But I still enjoy this movie, even if the story isn't the greatest. The villain's okay, but I still have a lot of fun with this movie. So it kind of hurts, it kind of pains me to have Venom at the bottom of the list. Like, honestly, this list could also change, like, at any point in time. Because, well, yeah. But anyway, next up, even though I decided changing this as well, at number 10, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, again, I don't hate this movie. Just because it's too slow doesn't mean I hate it. And honestly, this could move up, like, tomorrow. Shoot, it could move up the moment I stop recording, honestly. Because that's how much my rankings change, especially when it comes to these amazing, at least in my opinion, Spider-Man movies. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoy this movie. First of all, the action's not bad. The comedy's pretty good. But there are a lot of plot holes in this movie, if you really think about it. First of all, like, what is Mysterio trying to do? Like, I know he wants to be a fake superhero because Tony Stark wronged him. But also, can't he just, actually be a regular superhero and not have to kill people to do that? If he just wants to be a hero? Whatever. I mean, he's still a really cool bad guy because, well, those illusion scenes are just amazing and incredible. I loved those illusion scenes. Probably the best part about that movie, honestly. And I mean, honestly, he's probably one of the toughest foes Spider-Man's ever faced, because it's because of him that Spider-Man No Way Home happened in the first place. But yeah, it's a movie I really enjoy. I really love. I think it's awesome. But I do find myself enjoying the other ones a bit more. Some of it might just be nostalgia talking, just because, at least 3 of these films up higher on this list probably aren't as good, but I just happen to enjoy them a bit more, and I think most of that is nostalgia. But hey, because next up, at number 9, we have Spider-Man 3. Another movie that, even though some people say it's disappointing, and I understand where they're coming from, but I still don't hate this movie. I think it's a fun time. I enjoy it. Sandman, I think, is a great villain. Like, I think he was handled really nicely. Mostly, it was just all the symbiote stuff that was done terribly, and, well, that's probably because Sam Raimi didn't even want to include Venom in this movie, so, there's that. But, yeah, and I felt like the rest of the movie wasn't too bad. I still enjoy it. I still like watching it. Plus, come on, guys, if it wasn't for this movie, we wouldn't have Bully Maguire. Like, come on. If this movie didn't happen, most of the Bully Maguire stuff wouldn't exist. I mean, we'll still have some memes because, Spider-Man 1 and 2. But if this is the movie that really kickstarted the Bully Maguire thing. So, thank you, Spider-Man 3, at least for that. But still, the rest of the movie, I don't hate it. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun time. And, yeah, I really enjoy it. I think the only part of it, really, that was done terribly was the Venom stuff. And even that, I didn't hate. I mean, it wasn't really good, but I didn't hate it. And even though I did think it was terrible, the whole him dancing and stuff like that, when I first saw it, now that many years have passed, I laugh at it now. Just like, Oh yeah, I remember that. That's funny. This was turned into a hilarious meme. So, you know, at least there's that, right? But yeah, moving on to number 8, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I can never decide which Amazing Spider-Man movie I like better, the first one or the second one. Because both films have some good in it, and both films have a lot of bad in it. Like, first of all, Andrew Garfield, let's talk about him first, because I feel like we have to. I don't hate him as Spider-Man. Is he the best? No, I still kind of prefer Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire. But I don't think he's terrible. I think he was pretty good. He's a good actor, and I really liked how much he quipped in his movies. So, there's that. And Electro, I feel like if they made him a little less cheesy, he could have been a pretty good villain. Now, yes, it's a classic villain trope where huge fan of the hero does something to make him mad, and he turns evil. I mean, let's see. I mean, that was done the best in Incredibles with Syndrome. That was the best time the storyline was used, but I feel like it could have been, you know, at least decent if they didn't make him so cheesy. Because because Jamie Foxx, I thought was great as Electro, especially in No Way Home, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, I still enjoy parts of this movie. Like, Green Goblin, I feel like he had potential to be a great villain, but because he felt so forced, he literally felt like he was only there to kill Gwen Stacy. Like, that's the only reason I felt like he was in this movie, was just to kill Gwen Stacy. But speaking of Gwen Stacy, that scene where Green Goblin comes in and kills her, probably one of the most emotional scenes in a Spider-Man movie. Like, even though it's not one of my favorites, that's one of the greatest scenes. Like, if I was ranking Spider-Man scenes, this would be very up to the top, maybe top 3. And not because I'm crazy for thinking Gwen Stacy dying is cool. It's because that scene was handled so well, and it was so emotional, especially with Andrew Garfield just bawling his eyes out. It was just... It may or may not bring a tear to my eye every time I see it. Just you know, just a little though. For the most part, it's just Tobey Maguire putting dirt in my eye. That's mostly it. Yeah, totally, 100%. But speaking of Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone I think was a great choice to play her. I think she was great, and I think Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy is the best love interest when it comes to these versions of Spider-Man. But yeah, anyway, we have to talk about some of the other movies on this list because we're running out of time. Because we also have, at number 7, Venom Let There Be Carnage. This is another movie that kind of pains me to have it this low on the list. Because it wasn't that bad of a movie. It's just, you know, it has issues with it. Like, first of all, seeing Carnage on the big screen, I've said this in my movie review, was awesome. Just seeing Carnage in a movie in live action was amazing and awesome and fun. But I also feel like they could have done a better job of story. I think there are some plot holes in it. The tone was also not the way I feel like a Venom movie should be with Carnage in it. It was like when before I saw the first Venom movie, when I was thinking of a sequel with Carnage, I was thinking, oh yeah, a really dark, gritty movie, probably. But then I saw the first one, I was like, yeah, the second one's not going to be dark and gritty. There's no way. That would be a total tone shift from the first film. And I was right. And I still enjoy it. It's just, I feel like, I don't know, a Venom movie with Carnage as a villain could be way darker. But I don't hate it. I didn't hate the fact that it was PG-13 like some people did. I was okay with it. You know, it's fine. It's an okay movie, I think. I enjoy it. I watch it. I'm okay with rewatching it. I have fun with it. So, you know, not bad. Not one of the greats, but not bad at all. But next up, at number 6, we have The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this is another movie that I was debating which one I wanted to wear when it came to The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because I actually enjoy this movie, too. The fact that they tried to go for a darker tone, even though it's clearly because, you know, The Dark Knight was pretty fresh in everyone's minds, and they wanted to copy that, because there was a time where everybody seemed to want to copy that. I enjoyed that, and honestly, the best scene in this movie, in my personal opinion, was a scene where they're on the bridge, the Lizard is throwing cars overboard, and Spider-Man finds there's a car hanging over the bridge with a kid in it, so he goes in and saves him, takes off his mask to calm the kid down, and gives it to the kid. Like, that whole scene, I really enjoyed. I thought it was handled really nicely. Again, like I said, Andrew Garfield, I don't think it's the worst. Well, I mean, he'd be at the bottom of the ranking, but he's not bad at all. Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, once again, is great and outstanding. The chemistry between the two is amazing, and you could definitely feel something between the two. It was just awesome. And yeah, I do enjoy this movie. I'm okay with rewatching it. I enjoy it. I feel like the Lizard could have been done a bit better. Like, I feel like he had potential, because he was way more interesting before he was the Lizard than when after he was the Lizard, but, you know, whatever. I guess I can forgive that. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the top 5. Wow, we're already in the top 5. So kicking off our top 5 is none other than Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes, Spider-Man Homecoming. The first Tom Holland solo film. Now, I really enjoy this movie. Like, I know a lot of people have problems with it because of the fact that he's Iron Boy Jr., but I was okay with it for his first film, because I always thought that, hey, this is a different version of Spider-Man. They clearly set up that in Civil War that Tony Stark's like a mentor to him. So I was okay with all that. Now, the fact that they continued it in Far From Home, I was like, eh. But I was okay with it in this film. First of all, the Vulture, great villain. Like, one of the best villains ever. Yes, he is angry because of Tony Stark, blah, 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 all that stuff that we have seen before in the MCU, but I feel like this is one of the best versions of it because it was just awesome. And Michael Keaton, first of all, he's a great actor, so, you know, that's not really a surprise. But, like, whenever he was being this menacing, scary villain, he was menacing. Like, your heart started pumping. You were like, oh my goodness, I hope Tom Holland is able to get through this. But whenever he was being the caring dad to Liz, it was like, oh my gosh, wow, this guy seems like someone I'd want to hang out with. Like, the fact that he's able to switch just like that is just amazing. Like, that was awesome. Plus, I just really enjoyed seeing Spider-Man again on the big screen when it first came out, and I still enjoy seeing Spider-Man, and I always wanted Spider-Man to be in the MCU, so I thought this was awesome, because I love the MCU. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero, so that the fact that he's finally coming to this franchise that I really enjoy really makes me happy. I really enjoy it. But I will agree, it's not one of the best Spider-Man movies, but hey, it was good enough to make top 5, because I really enjoy it, and I rewatch it a lot. But moving on to number 4, this is when it got even harder. But at number 4, we have Spider-Man 2. Now, some of you might have this higher on your list. You might even have this at number 1, because I know some people who will have this at number 1 or 2. And for me, it's number 4. I really love this movie. First of all, again, Tobey Maguire, great Spider-Man. I really enjoy his version of Spider-Man. The train sequence was amazing, even though the faces he made was memed to death. I still really enjoy that scene. The action in this movie was great. Doc Ock, one of the best villains, similar to Michael Keaton's Vulture. Alfred Molina, great casting. And it was a character that you really cared for and you really felt bad for when he turned evil and lost his wife. Like, that was, it was pretty, like, it was just great. And yeah, I thought that this just turned out, I feel, great. Some people think it's the best movie. Personally, even though I don't mind the whole Spider-Man No More plotline, I feel like it was kind of weird the fact that he lost his powers because he was having a hard time balancing his life. So it's kind of hard for me to get with that plotline, but not so much to the point where I don't enjoy the movie. So I still really enjoy this movie, and I think it's awesome, and I love it so much. But I have a movie I kind of enjoy just a tad bit more, because now we are coming into the top 3 with number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, Spider-Man No Way Home. I love this movie. I really enjoyed it. The story had some plot holes, yes. Some of it, there were some cheap excuses, but the action was great, the finale was great. And if you haven't seen if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home yet, you might want to mute for a couple minutes until we get to the next one, because I'm going to get into some spoilers for that movie, so mute until the next one if you haven't seen it. But, like, seeing one more time, spoiler alert, seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, and for me personally, the first time on the big screen was just amazing, especially because I grew up loving Spider-Man. Like, even though I wasn't lucky enough to be able to see these movies in theaters, I still grew up loving these films, and it was just great seeing them back. Their chemistry together was the greatest. I literally could just watch these three talk as Spider-Man for a long time, maybe hours, I don't know. And then seeing them fight together was very unreal. And it might be the first movie I think I've seen 3 times in theaters, because it was just that much fun. And that's just the third act that's fun. Now, there are plot holes. Like, first of all, the fact that the reason this whole thing, the whole multiverse thing is happening, is because Peter didn't think to talk to MIT first. Therefore, he goes to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange, instead of being like, oh wait, this is extremely dangerous, it could break the multiverse. But instead of asking, did you talk to MIT yet first, I'm just gonna do the spell. And because it makes Doctor Strange and Spider-Man both look stupid, even though they're not, they're both extremely smart characters, they decide to do this terrible thing. And they do make a joke out of it, kind of acknowledging it, but it still kind of makes the characters seem dumb, which they're not. They're incredibly smart characters, especially Spider-Man. I know more about Spider-Man than Doctor Strange. I mean, I know a decent amount about Doctor Strange, but I know Spider-Man. Like, I know Spider-Man. So, the fact that they made him kind of dumb in this, I was just like, why would you do that? But I'm able to forgive it just because the third act, the finale, was just amazing, and I loved it, and I get goosebumps every time I see the 3 Spider-Men together, swinging, fighting. It was just the best. I loved this movie so much. Now, there's a chance that with time, this movie could go down. I don't think it will go up just because of how much I love the top 2. I mean, it might, but I don't think so. But yeah, I love this movie. Definitely number 3. It has some problems, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. But now we move on to number 2. But before we do number 2, please tell me how you would rank these movies down in the comment section below, and also please hit like and subscribe if you could. Thank you. Now, what is at number 2, you may ask? At number 2, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, this movie was awesome, and I love this movie. It's great and fun. I love it. And the story is really good, too. Like, I was surprised on how emotional this movie got. Like, I knew it was going to be fun and funny, but I was not expecting the emotions that came out of this movie, and I loved it. Like, this movie, it may be animated, but it is great. Like, great. And I know some people even have this one as their number 1. But, you know, I think the one up top is just, I enjoy that a tad bit more. This is one I love to rewatch. I think it's great. The story is great. The emotions are great. The jokes are great. The action is great. The characters are great. There's just, the movie is just great. It's amazing. You could even say amazing or spectacular. So, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I thought the story was good. They even tried to make Kingpin's, they gave him a reason for what he was doing, was trying to get his family back, which was cool. And even Spider-Man's death, like Miles is Peter, even though at least me and other people who may have read the comics knew that in Miles' universe, Peter Parker's gonna die. Like, there's very low chance that Miles' Peter will survive. So even though I 100% expected Miles' Peter to die, it was still pretty emotional, even though I knew it was coming. So it's just a great movie, and I love it. But there's a movie I enjoy a little bit more, and you probably know what it is by now, because it's the last one I did not talk about, and that is none other than Spider-Man from 2002. The original, the first, the OG Spider-Man. Now, I think a big reason why I love this one the most is because it is the very first. But I don't care. I love this movie. First of all, the story's good. It did a great job of telling us the origin story. Tobey Maguire, great. Is a great Spider-Man. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is a great villain. Like, he's one of my personal favorite villains. I feel like even No Way Home made him a bit better, but even in this movie, he's still great and terrifying, and I love it. And yeah, I just really enjoy this movie, and I love it. It's just so much fun. It's one I rewatch a lot. I used to rewatch this one on loop. I haven't as much anymore because, you know, I don't have time. But whenever I can, I rewatch it because I really enjoy it, and it's one I think it's the best Spider-Man movie. Probably because it is the first Spider-Man movie, but still, I really enjoy it. But what do you guys think of these movies? How would you rank them? What's your number one? What's your least favorite? What's your most favorite? What ones do you think were okay? I want to know all that. You can tell me your ranking, or just tell me your top and bottom 3. I would love to know what you guys think of these movies. I love all of these movies, but I do love some more than others. Because I end up and find myself rewatching them a bit more. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. And if you want to see more videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I've reviewed the Spider-Man No Way Homes, as well as I've done other rankings before. Like I ranked the X-Men movies, so go ahead and check that out if you want. And yeah, thank you so much for taking time to watch, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you like this video, please hit like. That would help me out a lot. Thanks so much for taking time to watch, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.